Now to Peter Zalmayev. He's the director of the Eurasia Democracy Institute, and he joins us now from Kyiv. Thank you very much for being with us this morning, sir. What has your experience been of being in the capital during this latest barrage of attacks?
Well, the first sirens went off during the middle of the night, around 3 a.m., and those were warnings of a Shahed attack by the drone attack, which passed kind of uneventfully. And then earlier this morning, around 7:30 a.m., I was finally woken up, contrary to despite the fact that I now have taken to wearing earplugs. My building was shaking from the shock wave of one of the hypersonic missiles, being shot over our skies. This was quite something. I was actually, afraid that the building might crumble. So waking up this morning, the entire city is in flames in various parts of the city. Water lines are down in some parts of the city, and also some power infrastructure seemed to have been struck, which once again reminds us of Putin's terror campaign last year. It may be the start, the start of 2024 is the start of a renewed campaign to try to knock out our power facilities and our water supplies.
I'm very conscious of the anxiety and obviously the concern that you must feel being in Kyiv. When I ask you a question now that's more about the geopolitics and looking ahead into the year, our correspondent Claire was just saying how Vladimir Putin has essentially been boasting about Russia's capacity to keep arming itself. We know historically Russia has always had numerical superiority. That's been a benefit in most of its military campaigns. Looking ahead to 2024, how worried are you about what happens to Ukraine's defense and what happens to Kyiv?
Well, I am very worried. As one of my colleagues, a member of Ukrainian parliament, a good friend of mine, has recently posted on Facebook. He said that taking stock of the past year, U.S. and the West do not seem to have been learning the lessons of the 2022 and 23 as quick as the Russians are. Yeah, their industrial capacity is nowhere near where it's needed to allow Ukraine to put up a successful, resistance to the Russians. And so when you talk about numerical superiority, I think it's also important to mention that Ukraine must be very wary of keeping at least its morals, superiority to the Russians. Putin is now claiming that all of this is in sort of a payback for the attack on Belgorod, back last Saturday, which resulted in the deaths of 30 Russians. First of all, when did he ever need a pretext to bomb us? But be it as it may, I would really caution our government, and I want to believe our government that says that it was a poor work by Russian air defenses that caused these fatalities. But once again, our Western allies expect a different sort of behavior for the Ukrainians. As sweet as this revenge, as this justice, as karmic as it seems to us here in Ukraine, it will not help us. And I would once again caution Ukraine to proceed very careful and concentrate strictly on military goals.
A final question to you on that leadership behind those decisions and those military goals. How secure is Volodymyr Zelensky in his position, in your view?
Ukraine is a democracy, is a raucous democracy, and even though the first 2 years of this war, there's been sort of a lid put on democratic debate in the country. Politics is returning to the country, and needless to say, this prevarication and wobbling by our Western allies who have not approved major assistance packages, both Washington and Brussels, they're partly responsible for this sort of disarray that's been happening inside Ukraine's politics. But once again, as I said previously in our interview for CNN, precisely these attacks by Vladimir Putin are, bringing back this understanding who the real enemy is. And this morning, again, Ukrainians woke up realizing who the real enemy is. So I think Ukraine's democracy, raucous and unruly sometimes as it is, will prove resilient in the long term.
And this is a very important point and contrast to make. Russia, of course, going to the polls in March, but that is not a free or fair election, with the main opposition leader in a Siberian camp and a suppression of independent media. Ukraine, a very different story.
Right.
Peter Zalmayev, thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate your thoughts and stay safe.
Sure.